everybody. My name is Matt Ray.
I'm DN1 Dave. How you doing?
The name of our show is State Raised. Today it's going to be about a whole bunch of different topics. Dave's going to tell us the first story today. It's about UFOs, I think, right?
Yeah, it's a UFO story. This, for me, is actually a good one because it confirms what a lot of us believe. And the way this guy told it, reminds me of, in a sense, of how I've realized there were ghosts, which I told you last time. But so this kid, 11 years ago, he was 14 years old. He doesn't care too much about this stuff no more than the next teenager. So I guess wondering, on a clear night the next evening, to make a long story short, he talks to a bunch of his family members and they're chilling out in the garden, like they're underneath the stove with the stars, telling stories, whatnot. Long story short, a beam of light comes down and he notices it over the houses. But okay, unlike the ghetto bird, we all know what a ghetto bird looks like. He said he couldn't actually see the object very well. It was very weird, like this kind of beam of light, but it wasn't a white beam of light. It was an offset, like, it's just something else, So the next thing you know, he sees it come down like an oval, I guess kind of like the movies almost, and he felt this weird feeling in his chest, like something was trying to draw energy out of him just for a second while it was going on. But the way he explained it is that with the beam, the way it was oval, the way it was coming down, he could tell it was attached to something. But here comes the best part. Here comes the confirmation. Here's this thing further and further away, like something my dad explained to me a long time ago. But next thing you know, this thing is going, and now when you see like the North Star, he said literally it was all the way up there, like it just became something like that, and then it was just gone. Dust, fairy dust, goodbye. And that right there for me, listen, it's impossible. You see how we have life on this planet? Well, if you look up there, since I was a kid, I would go up to observatories. I had a pretty good dad. I saw Saturn when I was his age. Pretty cool stuff. Point is that for me, look, just like there's life on this planet, there's life on other planets. Don't be
Absolutely. I definitely believe in UFOs. I watch all the shows, and like I said, you got to watch Hangar 1, and it's an amazing show.
Yeah.
Remember I told you to watch that? Well, let the audience know.
Yeah, between you and my lady friend, you both been telling me about that. But yeah.
Listen to this story. I was I don't know, it was one of these shows that I watch on UFOs, and this was in some huge forest. I think like maybe I'm saying the Rocky Mountains because I'm not sure where, but it's something is dense wilderness like this. And this is the thing. We sometimes we think a UFO is huge, right? Well, this guy said he was standing, and he saw this huge dramatic light come over him in the dark. He was just walking off from his campsite to go to the bathroom, he said. And the light was huge. He said the light was like literally the size of a football field. And then the thing came down lower. And he said the ship was no bigger than 2 feet long, right?
Jesus.
Check it out. It's a ship 2 feet long, right? And this is the crazy part. There was windows on the spaceship, and he could see in the spaceship, and there was people in that spaceship looking at him like this big.
Jesus.
That bugged me out. That's crazy. Because everybody says UFOs are huge. Doesn't have to be,
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. Who knows? These people are not more than 1.5 feet tall. For all you know, they're 1.5 feet tall, and they could kick our butt behind.
Like on Hangar 51, they talk about the Roswell crash, the one where they got.
I believe all of that. Forgive me.
No, there was 4 aliens in the spaceship, and 3 of them are dead, and 1 of them was alive. And 1 of them was alive. They had them for a few years. Like that's how we got that boom in technology, like when the microwave ovens came and the cell phones. But what I'm saying is, the one alien that was alive, right, was no bigger than 3 feet tall. He had no ears, but he had ear holes. No nose, but he had no, the holes for your nose to breathe in. And he had big eyes.
Between you and me, and I think this is a great comment for the show and for your viewers as well. I started, like how I said, just like there's life on this planet, I started getting into all that because there's obviously life on other planets. To be honest with you, when I found out the inner work, now they say ignorance is bliss, and I'm not going to say much more than this, but when I found out the inner workings of our country, and when you actually realize the truth about how our country's run, You won't have time to think about that stuff. But just to make a point, that's what took my mind out of all the extraterrestrial stuff.
Right.
Because when I found out, when my eyes were really opened, I was just like, wow. So that's all. But go ahead.
On the show Hangar 51 or Hangar 1, whatever it's called, he said that from the ships, there was like 6 different ships that we have, the government has, that, crashed down and we got them. And he said that the technology you see on Star Trek and the technology you see on Star Wars, he said now we're like 500 years past that. Like if the government was if they wanted to, the inner space travel, changing the weather, gravity control, but they're not doing it for whatever the reason is. But,
I'll be honest. Okay, I'll be honest with you. For whatever reason, I think they either don't mind us or we have some significance. Because listen, our technology is good, but their strength is 20 times ours. That's not on TV.
Right.
Listen, you and me both can't kick one of their behinds. My point is this: if they wanted to, they could wipe us out. Probably. Well, no, I mean,
if a 3-foot alien, if a 3-foot alien ran up on me, I'm fucking it up.
I'm talking about 50,000 of them with guns and the technology they have. We do not have their technology. They will pull us off they're not going to come 3 feet tall. They're going to come with guns that are 10 feet tall.
But where's it going with that? Okay. So this is what he was saying when he said that we had like 6 to 8 ships already from the ones that crashed, and we have all this amazing technology. He said 90% of the UFOs that we see now are us. You understand what I'm saying? They're not from another planet. They're from this planet. That it's just the technology that we reverse engineered from the crash.
Duplicated,
That 90% of the UFOs that are seen, they're ours.
Again, the inner workings of our country.
Did you ever read the book Behold the Pale Horse? I think I asked you this before.
No, and I don't. You've asked me a lot of topics. I don't remember that one, but I'll read it if you want me to.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it tells you everything about how Kennedy was killed. They said it was the driver just put the gun under his shoulder and blasted Kennedy from the front seat. But all the UFO, everything in that book is amazing. The guy who wrote it is dead now. He got shot like 6 times and thrown off a cliff. He lived, but a few years later, he died of his injuries.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
One thing I would recommend to anybody, if you haven't seen The Irishman, watch The Irishman.
I watched it like 5 times already.
Hold on. There's things to depict and things not to, but you can see what's true and what's not. But then finish watching The Irishman, and then there's an 8-part series. You can get it on fmovies.com for nothing, not downloading anything.
It's on Netflix already.
Yeah, there's an 8-part series of the Kennedys. Watch those 2 things, and you'll figure out exactly what happened to JFK.
Yeah.
What was that family the Irishman was working for? You don't hear. I didn't even know about him until I didn't even know about that family. Joe Pesci, no.
Oh, Joe Pesci. Yeah, no. Joe Pesci was like he was like the underboss.
Right, of what family thus?
It's not it's not one of the 5 families in New York. It's a family out in Detroit.
It's a Chicago family, right? It's a Midwest family. Right. Well, I think that family was pretty much behind whatever. It's just a point that it pretty much clearly shows you a stunt dummy did it. A stunt dummy went to jail. There probably was another shooter because listen, we've all seen the bulletin board. There's he got hit from 3 different ways. I don't know a sniper.
The magic bullet.
Listen, I'm a dead eye, okay? And I have respect for human life, so nothing like that. But, I would want a lot of property just to say. I like hunting, you know. But to be honest with you, I ain't that bad, and I don't know a person on this planet who is. So, yeah, there was 2 or 3 shooters.
Check this out. I gotta change the name of this kid. Let's just call him Frank, right? Now,
fair enough.
I know him all my life, right?
Oh, Frankie.
Frankie's father, right? He's a captain. He's a made man in one of the 5 families in New York. And that's a fact, right? His father did like 14 years, and they made sure that his wife was taken care of with a new house, bought businesses for the daughters and everything. But the kid Frankie, the made man's son, he's a snitch, right? His father's a stand-up person, but none of that went into Frankie, right? Frankie's just he's straight up, he's a rat, he can't fight, he's a coward, just the worst, he's just a bad person, right? nothing gangster about him. But his father, like I said, he's a captain over in New York. So one day he picked up me and Frankie from the house, and he was driving us back into Jersey City, and he told us the whole Hoffa story, who killed Hoffa and where Hoffa is right now. So, like, I don't know if it's true, but this is coming from a made man in New York, high up. Wait, listen. So
sorry.
The whole world doesn't know where Hoffa is buried and who did it, right? But I do. I don't know if it's true, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, do I have I have knowledge that? Well, anyway, he said you saw Goodfellas, right?
Of course, one of my favorites.
Robert De Niro's part, Jimmy the Gem, right? He's the one who killed Hoffa. That's the person who actually killed Hoffa.
You know what's funny?
And wait, let me tell you where he's buried, right? He's buried in New Jersey. I'm not saying where because, like, literally, I told you a captain in the mob told us.
You'll be captain. Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So I'm not giving out too much information, but it's like me, a nobody, knows who killed Hoffa and where's Hoffa was buried. You know, to this day, that amazes me.
All right, real quick, and we're having a great show, but before I need to take a 30-second break. But before I do that, on The Irishman, right?
Right.
It's funny because the same actor played Jimmy the Gem, but The Irishman, before even Jimmy the Gem, well, right around the time, but I'm guessing The Irishman would have been a little bit older than Jimmy, probably 10 years. Anyway, they show that he's the one who did it. And do you remember in the movie when he goes and it was no simpler than that, right in the oven? So to be honest with you, the way they put it, I don't think he's buried anywhere. And you told me, listen, guys, this is my brother right here. I heard this story firsthand a long time ago in the full version. No more than that. But just to say, that's why I said watch The Irishman. It makes sense. They had connections. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody did everything right in the oven. Why wouldn't they put him in the oven? Why would someone like that be buried right in the oven?
They thought he was buried in the Giant Stadium.
Not that it's good.
And see, now I understand what you're saying, right? But the thing is, the person who told me, right, is a fucking stand-up man. He's high ranking in the mob in one of the New York families.
So you think Martin?
Why would he make something up like that? You know what I mean?
Oh no, you know. Can I actually? My bad. Let's just say no names. Maybe someone was paid to direct information a different way.
Possibly,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Real quick, can we take 30 seconds? Sorry.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, like, so what I was saying is, like, I understand what you're saying about Hoffa and all of that, but what I don't understand is the man has no reason to lie to us, you know? It's just me, him, and his son in the car, and he's telling us who killed Hoffa and where the fuck, you know, where he's buried, you know? But, let's stop talking about that before some crazy shit happens.
Oh, God.
That didn't work.
Yeah,
all right, so what was that story you were telling me about them putting the fireworks in the food of the animals?
Oh, yeah. All right. This is really, really good, actually, in India, right? This park ranger arrests this man, right? He kills this poor 15-year-old elephant. He fed it a pineapple full of firecrackers. And then she was pregnant. She didn't want to eat anymore, so she died in the river. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
So, hey, Dave, you were telling me that story about in India they were feeding the elephants fucking fireworks?
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell us.
Yeah, literally in India there was a park ranger that arrested this man. Now they're investigating whether it was a poacher or a farmer, but get this. This is a 15-year-old pregnant female elephant. You know, that's like transportation over there. This is India.
And that's young for an elephant, right?
Yeah, actually, I think it's like adolescent, right?
Yeah.
They live a long time. So to say that, imagine someone feeds you a pineapple full of firecrackers, and you know, an animal, you do that one time, it's going to think that's going to happen every time it bites something. So it died of starvation, the poor thing.
All right, so let me see if I get this right. The guy filled the pineapple with explosives. He gave it to the
Yeah,
elephant to eat. It blew up. So now the elephant's hesitant, doesn't want to eat anything because he thinks every time he eats something, the shit's going to blow up. Right?
sick. It's sick. Yeah, and when I read on, I'm like, oh my god. So get this, they're actually investigating. It's like this is common. They're investigating whether it's a farmer doing it so it won't kill the plants or whatnot, or
Right.
it's just a poacher. Apparently, poachers do this all the time, and even farmers do it so they won't eat their stuff. But I mean, it's like killing a horse. Come on, that ain't right.
There's only two places in the world that have elephants. That's India and Africa. And I know in India, right, the elephants are killing more people than a tiger and a rhinoceros put together.
Stepping on them, right?
They bashed them with their heads.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
check
Yeah.
check out
Really?
this.
I didn't know
Yeah,
they were violent.
let me tell you this elephant story. Matter of fact, it's a good thing you brought that up. I was
Cool.
reading this book called The White Tiger. Right? It's about the worst prison in the face of the planet. It's in the Philippines. Right?
Yeah.
This is another book I want to recommend to everybody. The White Tiger. This white guy goes to Sweden, right? And he buys 20 fake Rolex watches, right? 20 fake Rolex watches. Somehow he's in the airport by the Philippines or whatever, and they catch him with the 20 fucking fake Rolex watches. Bang.
Jesus.
Sentenced him to 15 fucking years. 15 years.
Like he get his hand cut off.
He's never
Some of
never
them-
been in trouble. 15 years now in a Philippine prison. The name of the prison is called the White Tiger. Now, if your family doesn't come there with food, you don't eat. You understand? You do not eat. They don't have a cooking staff. They don't have a kitchen. Your family has to come there every day and drop you off your food. Now, everybody in this jail, like the rats walk all over the place, and that's their food. They have people who catch the rats, actually chop them up, fillet them, the meat off of the rat, and they sell that to the inmates in there, right? So now this guy, the white guy, is hated by the warden just from being an American, and thinking he's getting over. So the guy who's in prison for the watches, his father from America sent him a box of like it was Italian pastries, like cannolis, and some other food, right? And now this guy's been eating rats and bugs for like the past 10 years. Finally, his father sends him like this beautiful gourmet food. So the warden calls the white guy into this room and says, your father just sent you this food. Sit down. So he's like, oh God. The warden opens it up and he starts eating it, talking to him. So he's not giving the guy his food, right? Now, as the guy's sitting there, the warden is sitting cross-legged, right? And he's just tapping the tip of his shoe into the guy's shin like this, right? Not hard to where it hurts, but
Let him know he's being a.
he's just doing it nonstop, right? He does it for over 10 hours. The guy's shin bone was turned to dust. Just from that small tapping for 9 hours straight. Literally, his shin bone turned to dust, right? So a couple months go by, and the white dude gets caught with something. I don't know what it was. I don't want to ruin the book for you. So this, when they're gonna punish you, they come up with the crazy ways because they're so bored of just like the regular ways of killing people. So he got in trouble. They brought him out into the rec yard, and there's a huge wicker ball, right? Now, they put the guy in the wicker ball, and there's 2 elephants in the yard. They push the wicker ball to the elephants, and the elephants play. They love playing with the ball, just like kicking it around, and the guy's inside the wicker ball. Now, the elephants are just playing, kicking the ball, but here goes the fucked up part. When the elephants get tired of the ball, of kicking the ball, they destroy it. When they destroy it by bashing it with their heads. You know what I mean? They just squish down and fucking, that's how they were killing inmates. Putting them in a wicker ball and throwing them for the elephants to play until they got bored and the elephants destroyed it. But it just so happened that the elephants didn't crush this guy. He survived that. He actually made it home. And now they put, when there's 2 years left of your sentence, right? They take him out and they put him in this cell. No pillow, no blankets, no mattress, no nothing but a bucket in the corner. That is it. No fucking light. There's only one law. You're not allowed to blind an inmate. Not allowed to blind an inmate. They can do whatever they want. So for 2 years, he's been in the cell shitting and pissing to where it's literally up to his knees. The cell is like a 4x4, 4 feet by 4 feet. The shit is going up to his knees. There's no mattress. He got to sleep in it.
That's a shitty situation.
He's got festering sores all over his body from the feces and everything. Now, he hasn't seen a light in 2 fucking years. It's been pitch fucking dark. And they throw food in every day. A bucket of warm water with fish heads. That's it. His breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is it. Just one bucket with warm water and fish heads. That's all he gets to eat. Now, when there's about a year left for him to get free, they open the window on his cell. A hair. Just a hair. Just so a little bit of light can come in, right? Just so his eyes get used to it and regulate. Because if they just would have opened it all the way, he would have went blind. Because he's been in the dark for over 2 years. You understand what I'm saying? So they have to do it little by little by little for his body to get acclimated to the sun again, where his eyes, won't go burn into his head. So they open it up a tiny bit, sunlight comes in, and every day they just open it a hair more, and it literally takes a year. It takes a year to open the window all the way so he doesn't go blind, and that's the only thing they're not allowed to do to the inmates is blind them. So I just went somewhere crazy with that elephant story. But yeah, that's
really good. That's
crazy. Oh, and when he got out, his beard was to the floor. He's not once, 15 years did he shave or get a haircut. 15 years. No shaving, no mirror, no haircut.
Like Tom Hanks.
No, his beard was to the floor.
No, I mean, when he was working for Federal, that movie where he got stuck on the island. Where
Joe versus the volcano?
No, where his
Castaway.
best friend was.
Castaway.
Yeah. His best friend was the pineapple or the basketball or whatever it was.
That was Mr. Wilson, the volleyball. That was nothing. This dude's beard. They showed a picture of him. His beard was to the floor. His hair was to the floor.
Oh, Maron.
Covered in lice, covered in all types of bugs, with sores all over his body from laying in shit for years.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. It's the worst prison in fucking Taiwan. They told him, the guards don't speak English, so they're speaking Cantonese or Philippines, whatever he said. So the guard says by the time he gets out, he'll be speaking fluent fucking, Thai. And when he got out, he was able to speak Chinese, Cantonese, and Chinese. Yep. The White Tiger is the name of that book. It was insane. Insane.
That's just insane.
You got anything else you want to talk about?
Conclusion, I was just thinking about something. It's funny, we spoke about a lot of Martin Scorsese, stuff like that.
Right.
And I was actually thinking, I spent some time around his nephew. I actually met his nephew for a while. I spent about 3 months around his nephew.
Right.
I can't think of his name, but legit, I Googled him, and I left the place where I was, and I Googled him, and it was really him.
Yeah.
He used to let me borrow his shower slippers and everything.
He got in trouble? You mean he got in trouble? He was in a program or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to, but just to say that, me and him actually became cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna just the next show we'll talk about the riots that have been going on in New York. But at the beginning of this video, I already because I heard from blocks away screaming, so I ran up to my roof and I filmed all the protesters walking down. And this was in daylight, so that's the film that I got for the beginning of this. But my building, I live on the top floor, but on the bottom floor there's a corner store, a deli. Right, nice.
I was watching you filming, by the way. You when you leave things up your story on Messenger and stuff. Yeah. I was checking you out.
But check it out though. So this is 2:00 in the morning, and I'm in my bed and I hear this screaming, and all they did downstairs was just put the wood over the windows, and then I heard a loud crash. They came and they fucking kicked the front door off of the downstairs store and emptied it. So these aren't protesters. These aren't the people that care. They don't give a fuck about Floyd.
They just want a free deal. They just want free shit. Like my boy who got 3 glass bombs, man.
No, but don't get it fucked up. We're not saying that everybody out there is a looter. because there were people telling these dudes when they were ripping the front door off, please stop, don't do it, don't do it. It's making us look bad, the good people that are protesting, you know what I mean? It's just these bunch of knuckleheads that are following them, using
The
them as
people in
cover.
black or whatever.
Yeah, using them as a cover and then kicking in windows and taking shit, you know? But we're going to do our next show is going to be about, well, not the whole show, but it's going to be one of the topics.
Did you get my tag? Sorry, did you get my tag from Facebook this morning?
No.
Look on my Facebook. I also tagged you, but you got to look. It's funny, guys. I couldn't help myself. There's a group called the Klux Busters or something like that.
Klux
Klux Busters. Oh, my God, it's hilarious. I couldn't help myself. You'll see it. It's the last thing I put on my Facebook.
I got to check it out later. I can't find it.
It's hilarious. I think it's on my story, too, but yeah.
All right, we're just about out of time. And like Dave, I wanted to tell you the two podcasts that I love is, Mile Higher and Bones and Tubs. Dave, check them out.
I wrote them down this time.
Yeah, check them out. Check them out tonight. And I just want to tell everybody in our audience, please hit the like button on your way out, and please hit the subscribe button. Leave some comments. And until next time, Dave, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and I'm sorry, but I'm here for all of you. I'm here for my partner. I am a good person. I don't do any drugs. I can't speak. Everybody has a past. But this is what I love doing, and I'll always be straight with all of you.
We're not against 420. We're just against 420 when we're on the air.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Like I said, this is State Raised. Until next time, take care, everybody. Hey, like I said, this is me filming from the top of my roof. These were all the protesters, and no troublemakers, just doing their thing, with the signs protesting what happened with the police brutality. But later on that night, 2, 3 in the morning, they ripped the front of the store off and destroyed the inside of the store. I just want to let everybody know there are good protesters and there's some knuckleheads in there. And these are the good protesters. So